Good morning. How are you?
Hey, everybody. Good morning, Mindsetter. Today is July 9th, 2021, and it is Friday. Oh, yes, we have made it through the week. So let's get this road on the show. Yeah, it's Friday. Welcome one, welcome all, welcome everybody to Mindset Mornings on this glorious Friday morning. Fridays, what's the best day of the week, guys? Come on, be honest. Is it Friday or is it Saturday? Which day really floats your boat? Which day makes you think, that feeling, is it Fridays or Saturdays? I don't know, man. Fridays and Saturdays are probably my best days I like the most. Sundays are okay, but Sundays you have the dread. Sundays are cool, but you always in the back of your mind you always thinking, well, tomorrow is Monday. You know, and so it's a mixture of Morrissey and the Boomtown Rats, right? Every day's like Sunday, and I don't like Mondays. Bump 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 bump. Well, we got a great show lined up for you today. Today, of course, is Physical Media Friday, where we talk about all manner of physical media, whether that be DVDs, Blu-rays, 4K, records, books, tapes, mini discs, and today, retro video games. I think Reeves will be joining us in about 25 minutes or so. And Reeves is a collector of retro video game stuff, and I've been foolish because behind me in a box, which I could have got out last night and completely forgot, is an Acorn BBC microcomputer from about 1985 or 86, which I have, and I have the computer, the floppy disks, the whole shebang. And I keep thinking I'm gonna hook it up and play some retro stuff, and maybe try and get it hooked up to the internet so I can do some basic internet stuff on it. Because it can be done, folks. It can be done. You can hook up old 8-bit machines to the network. You can buy a connector that you plug in to the COM port or one of the RS-232 port that then you can then connect to your Wi-Fi. It's fucking crazy, huh? You can connect to your Wi-Fi, and then you can get your computer hooked up onto the network and do real basic stuff. Obviously, you can't do web browsing and stuff like that. There's no way, right? Because the computer's not powerful enough. But you can do basic things. I think you can tweet and shit like that. Anything text-based. Anything to do with a screen full of text, you can probably get away with it on an 8-bit PC, 8-bit microcomputer, whether it be a BBC Micro or a Commodore 64 or something, a Commodore Amiga, Atari ST, all those old machines, that we all grew up with. Well, I say we all grew up with. I don't know how old everyone is watching on the stream. Some people might be scratching their head like, BBC what? Atari what? What the fuck? I don't, who knows? But if you're of a certain age, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But what I'll do is when Reeves comes on and starts showing his stuff, maybe I'll say, "Keep talking, Reeves," and I'll go through a couple of boxes and pull out the micro and show it to you. And it's unusual. I mean, having a BBC microcomputer here in Los Angeles, California, is a bit rare. You know what I mean? These are not things that are very common over here. The BBC microcomputer did not take off in the U.S., although they did launch it. They did launch the computer in the U.S. in the early 80s, around 83 or 84. They tried to get a foothold into the American education market with the BBC Micro, and they created an American version of the BBC Micro. And you can find those floating around on eBay and the like. But unfortunately, it didn't catch on. It didn't work. They didn't get their hooks into the American market. Had they done so, things might have turned out very different for Acorn, because Acorn had a lot of similarities with Apple. I mean, there was that thing where Acorn was the UK's version of Apple. It was Apple was the US, Acorn was the UK. And in the early days, 79, 80, their machines were kind of on. Well, I think the Apple machines were a little more advanced, but they were kind of on par. They were on the same kind of wavelength. And who knows? Had had Acorn got a foothold into the U.S. Educational market, and it took off, and suddenly Acorn Computers got a major market share. Well, not a major, but at least got a market share here in the U.S. Things might have been very different for the U.K.'s computer company called Acorn. The British Apple might be still around today. Unfortunately, it's long dead. I think the company went bankrupt in like the mid '90s. And that was that. I know they had the Archimedes line of computers, which I remember as a kid drooling over, like I want one, but I could never afford it. It was too much. But I had a BBC, which cost a fortune back then. But yeah, I mean it's fun stuff. And I remember when I bought this BBC. Let me tell you the story. This must have been about 10, 15 years ago, something like that. I don't know why I got into retro computing like a mental case, because it is a waste of time and money, Don't tell Reeves that. I purchased a BBC Micro Model B and a BBC Master 128, and I had them shipped over from the UK to LA. And I bought like all the stuff. I bought like the special monitor where I could hook it up and get it working. I bought a power adapter so I could plug it in and get power, because the power is different. All that shit. And I got it working. I got them working. Pulled it up. Played a few games. Remember, my daughter was small. My daughter was playing games on it, and then beep 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 beep. All the playing Snapper, which was the Acorn Pac-Man clone, and all that shit. And we did this for like maybe 2 weeks, playing around with it. Oh, this is great. And then I put it back in the box, and it stayed there ever since. In fact, last year, I finally sold the Model B. I sold the BBC Model B to a guy in Texas, because there's an Acorn board on Facebook that I lurk around. And I was chatting with some guy, and he was like, "Yeah, I want to buy a BBC." I said, "Well, yeah, I got one. I'll sell it to you." And he said, "How much?" I said, $350. He's like, "Deal." So I he PayPal'd me the money, and I shipped it to him in Texas. And now there's a guy in Texas with a BBC B, but I still have my BBC Master, which is right over there. So when Reeves comes on, I'll sneak over there, grab it, and then I'll hold it up and show you this beautiful industrial design from the early 1980s. Beautiful machine, but completely obsolete, and so on. And if there's anyone in the U.S. who'd like to make me a decent offer, I'll sell it, because I really don't know I doubt I'll ever use it again. And it's in 100% working order. And it's been modified to give it a USB port and an SD card reader. The SD card, which is a 2 gigabyte card, is plugged in, and on that card is every game ever released for the BBC Master, and you can access it like that. So, there you go. Shoot me an email if you want to buy it. I'll sell the fucking thing. It's just taking up space. But anyway, let's see how everyone's doing in the chat. Let's zoom back through time and see what's going on. D Rowe was the first one in the chat this morning, and D Rowe says,
Good morning.
Good morning. I'm looking forward to seeing all the lads tonight on the Friday Night Howl. Have a good day, mate. Yep, tonight the Friday Night Howl will return. We'll be back tonight, 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. The return of the Friday Night Howl. Pike on a Trike says, where is he at? Come on, Pike on a Trike. He says moist. There you go. He's moist right now. Snarnock comes on and says, hi Gareth and the Mindset Gang. My favorite computer game of the 80s was Repton, played on the BBC Micro. We were just talking about the BBC Micro. Remember that old show? Was it the computer thing, computer program? Well, back in the early '80s, the Micro Live was another one on the BBC. I remember. And I would be as a kid, I'd be fucking glued to these shows. You know what I mean? I'd be like, and it'd be because it was so exciting. Computers that were suddenly everywhere in people's houses. It was amazing. There was no internet. I mean, bulletin boards were just barely starting to go to kick off in the UK. I think they've been around for a while in the US. It was weird. Barry Crump says, "Good morning, Gareth. Despite chips and gravy being delicious, I really can't eat it because I'm a vegetarian. So I'm enjoying a bowl of chips and mayo accompanied by a glass of Fuller's London Porter." Barry, that sounds absolutely delicious. So enjoy it, my friend. Enjoy your Friday afternoon munching on some chips and mayo. And chips and mayo is actually quite delicious. It's not chips and mayo. It's not really a thing over here. You know what I mean? It's like I've gone out and had French fries and asked for a side of mayo, and everyone's like, "What?" And then I'm dipping the French fries or the chips and eating it, and people are looking at me like I'm from fucking Mars. But I don't know. Maybe it's but it is it's quite tasty, old boy. Let's see who else is on. Barry Crump also says, "For me, there are only two arcade video games that I truly enjoyed. These were Space Invaders and Asteroids. I was in the sixth form when they came out, and I spent lunchtimes in the local pub playing." Yeah, those are two great games for sure. Two great games. Melissa Jones Paranormal has returned, and she says, "Moist, LOL." Fichild UK, hello Chris. He says, "Afternoon all, and I have booted up my ZX emulator and ready to play every game made by Julian Gallup for nostalgia." And it's a huge nostalgia factor, And plus, these games, even though they by today's standard, they're incredibly primitive, but they're so much fun, I remember, when I was saying I hooked up the BBC Micro on the monitor I got and everything, and I had it running. It was running great, and we were playing like the Snapper, the Pac-Man clone, and Hopper, which was the Frogger clone. And my daughter was like, she didn't want to stop. She was like the Frogger thing, Hopper. She was like, "Oh, this was the greatest game ever." She was loving it. Strange, huh? Let's see. Andrew Clark says, "I still have my ZX Spectrum Plus." Notice I'm saying ZX, not ZX. And Firechild says, "I have an old Atari working, but sold my Specky to finance my gaming rig." Yeah, I hear you. You gotta do what you gotta do. Let's see. Adam George is here. Hello, Adam. Andrew Clark I have an Amiga 1200 too. Yeah, it's weird. Amigas I saw there was a documentary that came out a couple years ago about the Amiga. And the Amiga in the UK and Europe was huge for games, right? Because I think most people in the UK bought Amigas to play badass video games. Whereas here in the U.S., people bought Amigas, to play games. Obviously to play games, but there was a much bigger gaming market in Europe than there was over here for the Amiga. But most people bought the Amiga over here to do BBS, to either connect to or actually run bulletin boards, to do productivity stuff, word processing and things like that, and to do very primitive video editing and video effects. I think those were the main reasons people bought Amigas in the US back in the day. But I think in the UK and in Europe, in Germany, people bought Amigas for their kids so they could play video games, I think. And it's amazing. You know, I don't know if you guys. I mean, I'm assuming you guys are science fiction fans, at least some of you. But Babylon 5. Most of the special effects in Babylon 5 were rendered on Commodore Amigas. And even when you watch Babylon 5 now, the effects, I mean, they do look primitive, let's be honest. But they still look good. And back in the day when it came out, they looked fucking great. So, you know, something to think about. Oh, Five Channel has some BBCs. He's got three of them in the room next door to me. Two sentimental display. Yeah, I know what you mean. I bought two of them. I bought a BBC-B and a Master. And like I said, I have no real use for them. I would love to be able to hook them up, and I could. You know, I still have the monitor and all everything, the floppy drives and all that shit. And I could hook it up, and I turn it on, and I get it going. And then what? Do you know what I mean? It's like, okay, hey, look at it. What do you do? I mean, I don't know. Let's see. Toxis O'Grady is here. He says, sorry, not a grandstand. It was black and wooden signs. I don't know what that means. He was talking about Atari Grandstand. The is that the game? The game Grandstand? I'm guessing. I don't know. Rural Sound System says, I had an Atari CPC 464, then upgraded to a Sega Mega Drive Genesis, and we had a BBC at the school in the 80s. Yep, that's pretty standard. Karen Hoyle says,
Good morning.
Gareth and Goose. Goose? Oh, Goose. I don't know what that says, but thank you.
Good morning.
There we go.
How are you?
I'm all right, Arnie. How you doing? Jackie Green Cats and Things says, hey, Gareth. Dash. Mindset. Let's see. Looking through some. Oh, here we go. Tim the Pigeon Master. Is it Master or Master? He says, bitches leave. And he's with a threatening tone. He says, there better be a howl tonight, Gareth, all right? Rest assured, Tim, the howl returns this evening. Yeah, it'll be back tonight. And Percy's back also, so Percy will be on the howl to tell us about his camping adventures. We'll probably get some good stories out of Percy tonight. Lewis is here, and he says,
Good morning. How are you?
Hope I haven't missed too much. Yeah, you've missed tons. Absolute tons. So get here on time in future. Bitches leave. There you go. Would you stop jumping up on the screen? What's going on here? Frank Triggs is here. Frank says, Morning. I collect retro computers. I have quite a few. I also write music and games for the ZX Spectrum. That's fucking awesome, Frank. That's very cool. Karen also says, I love mayo with me chips. Yep, me too. It is pretty good. Sublime Exploration has arrived. He says, hello, Ski. Gareth and all. May the shackles be released for Friday. Absolutely, man. I couldn't have said it better myself. We've made it to Friday. It's always such a relief when you wake up and you realize it's Friday. Isn't it? Isn't it a relief? Don't you feel like, fuck, finally? And then I get mad because not mad. I don't get mad. I'm like, Urgh. I'm not mad, but I'm like, we're always thinking of the weekend. We're always aiming. I want the weekend. It's like you're dreaming your life away. You're pissing your life away because you're focused on just these 2 days. And then the 5 days that precede them is you want get it over with. I want 5 days of my life over, just so I can have those 2 days. Isn't that weird? It doesn't seem right to me. We should be relishing every day. We only have like a finite time on this planet before we before we either go somewhere, whether it's in the ground or off to another dimension or whatever. But we don't have much time. So to piss away a week just so you can get to the weekend. It does seem rather stupid, but I do kind of get it because, during the week you have to do what other people want you to do. And on the weekend, you do what you want to do. It's your time. Anyway. Let's see. Panjit Singh is here. He says, the air smells kind of like Creosati this morning. Very. I don't even know what Creosati is. Am I saying it right? I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is, so I don't know what you mean by smelling. Let's see. Toxteth says, I remember in school around '79 using dial-up. We put the phone in a box thing and used the signal sports. I can't remember what we used for it though. We did a BBC. So yeah, it's probably a BBC to do that. I remember I did it in the '80s on my parents' phone. On the down low because they wouldn't let me do it for real because the phone bill, Gareth, it's too expensive. So I couldn't, so I did it on the down low, and then my mother got the bill, and then, all hell broke loose because back then, phones were, it was expensive back in the 80s to make calls or long distance calls. But when I moved to the States and I bought a PC, and I got a modem, local calls were free. So you'd have all these bulletin boards in your local area, and you could call them, and it would cost you nothing, and you could spend hours connected to them. So I was very much in the early to mid '90s, before the internet really kicked off. I was very much into bulletin boarding here in the U.S., dialing in and all that stuff. Daniel, I'm sorry, man. I forgot. Is it Ulbrook? Have I got it right? Ulbrook? Daniel Ulbrook says, hi, Gareth. I hope I got it right, man. Let me know in the chat if I nailed it. I'm hoping I did. Let's see. Barry Crump says, Gareth, would you and Reeves do a show on quirky films? My top three would be Sir Henry at Rawlinson's End, The Man Who Fell to Earth, and my first Mister. Well, I've seen The Man Who Fell to Earth, and it is one of my favorites, but I'm not familiar with the other two. We could certainly talk about quirky films on a separate show for sure. It wouldn't be on Physical Media Friday because on Physical Media Friday we talk about physical media. Now I do have The Man Who Fell to Earth on DVD and Blu-ray. So I could certainly dig those up, and we could talk about the movie and look at the discs and the packaging and stuff like that. So it's doable, absolutely.
Absolutely. This time you can count on me.
Let's see. They Live is here. We've got one who can see. He says, I feel young. My first gaming console was an Atari 2600 with wood effect. Yeah, those were badass machines, dude. Back in the day when those things came out, it was like, oh my god, everyone wanted one of those. Everyone wanted an Atari. That was the Christmas present to have. If you were a kid, if you were a little kid, imagine being 9 years old in say 1981 or 1982. And on Christmas morning, you wake up and you tear open this package and there's an Atari 2600. You would lose your shit. You would lose your fucking mind. It would be the greatest gift. You know what I mean? It would be amazing. Anyway. Let's see. Danielle says, yeah, I agree, Dan. Friday and Saturday are my favorite days. Yep, 100%. Nailed it. Meme the Merciless and the Galaxy Braingers says, hello. Meme the Merciless. I like that. I would, if I were you, I would keep the Max von Sydow Ming the Merciless icon, the logo, the face thing, and I'd remove the Galaxy Bringers, and I would just call myself Meme the Merciless, because Meme the Merciless is a fucking great handle. That's badass, dude. That is. My hat is off to you, sir. Very good. Very good handle. I like it. Let's see. I'm looking for somebody new or an interesting thing to read out. Virgin Media. Oh, J Ag. He's here. He says Virgin Media had region free. Okay, that's cool. That was probably in the 90s. I'm guessing early 90s. I'm guessing. Rural Sound System has a George Harrison, or is it, or maybe I think it might be a Neil Innes quote, either George Harrison or Neil Innes. I think Neil Innes wrote a song about it, like no matter who you vote for, the government always gets in. That's true. Another one is don't vote; it only encourages them. Let's see. Snark says, I was a toddler at the time watching Button Moon. Button Moon. Is that one that Peter Davison did the voices for? I think. Number one fan says,
Good morning.
Gareth, I'm sorry I'm late. Yes. Don't be late again. You know what time the show starts, so you get here on time. There we go. Okay, let's see if we can get Mr. Cooke on. Oh yeah, I have a sip of my coffee. Oh, I should say, oh boy, tomorrow I'm going to a haunted restaurant and bar. Well, it's a haunted themed restaurant and bar. I don't think it's really haunted, but it's called the hang on, I'll tell you the exact time. It's called the Haunted Carriage or something. Hang on. Hold on. It's called it's called the Phantom Carriage Brewery. I've known about this place forever, but I've never gone. But I'm going to go there tomorrow. So I'll take some pictures and maybe I'll make a little video so you can see it. But it's like a horror themed restaurant / bar, like real spooky and stuff. Whereas every day is Halloween, and they brew their own beer. So they have like Leatherface brew and stuff, and all these weird names for these drinks, these beers. So I'm gonna check that out tomorrow. Hopefully it'll be badass. Let's see, Reeves. Where you at, Reeves? There you are. Let me just call it yo. And we'll get Reeves on in a second, where we can start going through all this physical media goodness. But before we did that, we were 30 minutes into the show and we haven't even had a Mark Rabouillet yet. We haven't even woken up. So all I gotta say is, get the fuck out of bed, bitch, go.
Get the fuck out of bed, bitch, go. Get up, and then they got go. Time to wake up, bitch, get up. Get up, get up.
Yeah, there we go. I think I'm awake now. I should be. Flower says, "Do they play Ministry in the bar?" I don't know yet. I haven't been there. I'll report back on Monday. On Monday, I'll give you guys a full review of how good or how shit it was. But I'm hoping it's going to be great. But on Monday, I'll let you know exactly how it went. And if I take pictures, I'll show them on the show on Monday. If I make a little video, I'll show the video on the show on Monday of the Phantom Carriage Brewery and how spooky it is and how good the beer was and so on and so forth. So be here on Mindset Mornings this coming Monday, and I'll tell you all about it. All right, let's bring in Mr. Reeves Cooke. Let's give him a call. Let's get Reeves on the show. We'll bring in Reeves, and we'll get this going. And Reeves. And now we go
Hello.
live. We go live to Reeves. Reeves, you there?
I am
Hey,
reporting
man.
from. Yes.
Where you reporting from?
From
Reeves,
somewhere.
where are you reporting from, Reeves?
From somewhere. I'm not
From
sure
somewhere. Somewhere out there. How you doing, man? What's happening in the world of Reeves?
where. Yeah, going okay. Enjoying my time off. Yes, it's going rather well.
Yeah, time off is it's always good to enjoy your time off.
Yes,
Always.
very important.
So did you sleep late today? What's the deal? Did you?
No. Well, I've kind of when you have to get up early anyway, and then you sort of decide that I'm not going to set the alarms or anything like that. It's all of a sudden you think to yourself, I'm not going to put the alarms on or anything like that. And then all of a sudden it's you start waking up even earlier, and it's a bit weird.
Yeah, that's happened to me once in a while. It's not fun. I have to say though, tomorrow, because it's Saturday and I don't have to go to work. I don't have to go to work, and I'm not live streaming. So
Yeah.
the plan is to do the Friday Night Howl tonight, and then just knock the fuck out and sleep till like midday. That's the plan. Now, whether or not that'll happen, I don't know, but that's the plan, Reeves.
I think Gareth might be having a few hot chocolates too many.
Maybe. I do consume quite a lot of beer on the.
Well, you can
the
certainly
Friday
drink
Night
me
Howls.
under the table, that's for sure.
But I do drink on the. It's a mixed bag. Like sometimes I'll wake up on Saturday morning and be like, oh, and other times I'll wake up and I'm like, hey, good to go.
That's the thing. Yeah, that's the thing. You go out with your friends and you think, I'm going to have a great night. I'm going to have a few beers. I'm not really a big drinker anymore. I'll have a couple of pints. I know my limits. But I'll have a few drinks, and then if you have a few too many and you get a bit drunk, and then you wake up in the morning and it's like, I'm never going to do that again. Never doing that again.
Yeah.
That's it. I'm teetotal now. It's just going to be shandy and Alco Pops for me or whatever. I'm not going to drink the hard stuff. I remember, I'm going to tell a story now.
All
Another
right,
one
go
of
on.
my stories.
Go on
A long time ago, we were invited to it was like a wedding reception or something, and somebody said, "Can you come along and take some pictures?" And I'm like, "Yeah, all right, I can do that for you." And so they said, "We'll pick you up and we'll cover all your meals and expenses and stuff." Yeah, okay, sounds even better. So I went there, and I'd never had champagne. Never had champagne. And they're at the table, like I'm invited to the sort of the meal and that, because I'm mingling and taking pictures, and like a glass of champagne, and I'm like, yeah, okay, and I'm drinking it, and I'm thinking, this is quite nice. It's like fizzy lemonade. Because I'm sat down, and then the guy next to me goes, "You don't want too much of that, son. You can guzzle that stuff, and before you know it, you're on your back." And I'm like, "Well, this is just like lemonade. This is not like whiskey
tasty.
or anything." Yeah, I was having a bit of that, and I had about 6 glasses, and then I went outside, and I had to sit down. I was proper drunk.
Yeah.
And then I had to take pictures. I'm lucky. Put it this way: I'm lucky my camera had autofocus.
Yeah, I was gonna say, were they all blurry, like just a blur?
I couldn't see properly.
Yeah, they all came out good.
So yeah, and it wasn't none of that cheap stuff. It wasn't none of that baby sham.
Baby sham.
Wasn't none of that baby sham.
Is that still a thing?
Remember those?
Does that even still
Yeah.
exist? Is it?
Yeah,
is it-
I think so. Yes.
yeah.
They used to sell it in the little bottles, didn't they? Way
Yeah.
back. In the little
That
bottles.
was
and
like
had a little
that was
Bambi on
like
the
a
front.
70s drink, right? That was like a big deal
yep.
in the 70s.
Yep.
Baby
Yeah, the
Shan.
70s. It was that, and it was what was the other one? There was there was another beer, wasn't there? There was a really kind of Double Diamond.
Double Diamond, yeah.
Double Diamond. He used to sell it in those tiny, tiny little cans, like a half of a half
can,
pint.
yeah.
It was a tiny little. My
Double
dad used to
Diamond.
drink them, and he used to drink what was the other one as well? Light ale. Light ale.
Yeah, it's crazy how times have changed.
But how do we get onto alcohol? Anyway?
I don't know, because I was talking
Off
about
on those tangents
I was
again.
talking about the Friday Night Howl and how
Okay.
I drink lots of beer while watching it, and it's strange watching the shows back. I start off the show completely sober,
Yes.
and completely lucid. And by the end of the show, I'm all like, "Yeah, what the fuck?" I'm goofing on everyone and talking shit. You know, it's crazy. But no doubt there'll be more of that this evening.
Okay.
Yeah, it is what it is. It's late night TV on YouTube. So if you do like that kind of nonsense, tune in tonight at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time for the Mindset Live Friday Night Howl. It's basically like a virtual pub. You know, it's like imagine we're at a pub sitting around a table talking a bunch of shit and drinking beer for like 3 hours or 4 hours. Actually, we did 5 hours a couple of weeks ago.
Right.
And that's pretty much it. So if you enjoy watching something like that, or if you want to partake, if you want to be on the show tonight, let me just throw this out there for people watching. If you do want to be on the show, it's invite only, and I'll send you a link on how to join. But you have to email me at mindsetcentral@gmail.com and let me know why you want to be on the show tonight. And
In less than 45 words.
In less than 45 words. And the only provision is you need a webcam, a microphone, and you need to be interesting. You got to have those three. If you got those three things, shoot me an email, and we'll bring you on, and we'll have a chat. It'll be fun.
Can you remember the phone number for Swap Shop? 0898.
Oh, fuck. No.
0898.
0898. 000000. I don't know.
Do you remember that time when they had 5-star on there and that little kid ran up and they didn't censor the calls? He said, "Yeah, I just want little Darren from Ipswich has got a question. Yeah, you guys are shit." Remember that?
No, I don't remember that. But
I
do remember Swap Shop. So
yeah, great TV show. Yes.
As Reeves is painting a very retro picture here, and I guess he's doing it on purpose because we have some retro stuff to. So I don't have any. Well, I could grab my computer. Well, I don't have any retro stuff per se, but I can grab stuff quickly. I have I have new Blu-rays that I want to talk about, and I have a video that I want to play. So how do you
8055? That's it. Yes. Okay. Just reading them. He got it right. He wins the internet.
805. That's
Simon wins the internet.
Okay. All right. So Simon, this is one time where somebody is amazing and disturbing all at once.
I admire the man. He remembers that number.
He
gets my gold internet badge.
There you go. That's pretty badass. So let's keep the best to last because you got all your retro stuff there, right? All chugging away, ready to go.
Well, actually, I have to say that I am wearing the best. I am wearing the best. So anything that go after this, it's like it's great.
Yeah.
But you just can't beat a 1976 original Seiko digital quartz.
Check that out.
Mint condition.
And it works.
So yeah, I'm wearing the best, and of course it works.
That's great.
Even the light works.
That's amazing, man.
But yeah, so I love everything old. I'm stuck in the past.
Yeah.
But yeah, as we're going to find out today, I've got so much junk.
Junk. Don't call it junk.
Well,
it's not junk.
In a loving way. I think that we keep these things around us for a reason. And
the sentimental nostalgia stuff, yeah.
Yes, but they also hold little tiny memories as to what we did in our past, in our childhood. Now I think that last week you went first last week.
All right, you go first.
I'll kick off this week.
All right, go on.
With something that is computer related because I've got maybe 3 levels of stuff to talk about. And I think that what we're going to talk about to start with is movie tie-ins with some of the first video games where you had, back in those days, you had your Spectrums, you had your Commodore 64s, all that sort of stuff. And anyone that's kind of in, anyone that's like an old bastard like we are, then you're definitely you're gonna be there. You'd have lived it. You'd have got the T-shirt. So let's put it this way: we are incredibly lucky to have lived through the birth of the information technology superhighway.
That's true.
21st century, whatever. We're incredibly lucky to have lived through that and to seen it happen.
Yeah.
And I think that when we look at video games and you look at the early days of video games, it's kind of like you can understand why they wanted to bring in that kind of movie title. So we're going to start with a movie that everyone loves, okay?
Uh-huh.
And we're going to start with a little bit of Conan.
Conan.
Now, Conan the
Pull it
video
back a little
game.
bit so we can see the whole thing.
Conan the video game.
There you go.
Okay, is an interesting one. Okay, now it's made by Americana, which is they're pretty good. They've got some pretty good stuff out there, and this is for the Commodore 64. Now, as were a lot of games back then, you were kind of very limited by how intricate you could make them. So you had
show everyone what you just showed the case, but a lot of people are watching like, well, what is that? Is it a cartridge? What is it?
I'm going to show now. I'm going to take it out. I'm just going to. So this is just basically a program cassette, all right? So it's kind of your standard run-of-the-mill program cassette. And I'm going to show everybody a little bit of what you get. This is the important part. When you're a kid and you go into a video shop and you look at these cassette games, you don't care what. It's important what the cover looks like because that's what in your mind what the game's going to be like.
Right.
But they normally put little screenshots on the back. Yeah. So this one obviously is more of a platform game. Sort of, negotiate.
So it's a little out of focus. There we go. Oh, look at that.
So it's more of a platform game. Yeah. Okay. So, you're running around and doing your things. And obviously, they do make these games pretty much incredibly hard because they have to have longevity. And also, there has to be quite a high challenge level because of, the games aren't very big. Anyone that I mean, maybe I'm preaching to the choir, but anyone that kind of knows that with these games, you can't, unless you've got a multi-loader, which means it loads part of the game, you play it, and then it loads some more. It has to load all the game into a small area of memory, and it has to get it all in there so you can play it. Yeah. So we had our Conan game, which is obviously from the movie. It's following the movie. It's trying to use. Exactly. I thought I'd use that one for a bit of Arnie.
All right,
bit of Arnie.
There you go.
Great film.
Let me play a little bit of Arnie.
Absolutely. This time you can count on me.
There you go.
All right. Now, so I'll take your word for it because I didn't hear it.
He's so serious, Reeves. It's like, oh, okay, all right, okay, very good. Okay, right. Now on to the next.
I'm trying to keep focus here because you haven't seen my desk. It is covered in
let me just explain something, Reeves. I know you got a shit ton of stuff there, but we only got an hour.
I know. That's why I'm looking around to pick. I'm being very picky. Right. So, who remembers the great film? Some people might not like it. Who Dares Wins?
Oh yeah, I remember with Lewis Collins.
Lewis Collins. Who Dares Wins?
Yeah.
Right. So, DK Tronics is another good company. And they have a game out. They made a game. Who Dares Wins.
There you go.
Now this is a Commodore 64 game. Same thing. It's on a cassette, and it's more of a shooting game. Look at that though. This is what I love. This is what I love about these cassettes. Right. And this is the thing. The price label. Yeah, that's what I love.
$7.95.
$7.99. Oh, $7.95. Yeah. You got better eyesight than me, and I'm actually looking at it now. 1983. This is 1983.
Yeah.
This came out.
Back in '83, £7.95 for like a kid was a fucking fortune.
A lot. That's like 3 weeks pocket money.
Yeah, that's a lot of money for a kid, back then.
Now, it's not just Commodore 64 stuff. We're gonna venture into the world of Spectrum.
Ooh.
All right, with another movie title, and this is gonna be This is a great one. You're going to a bit more upper class here. You're going to be
All right,
into
all right.
nearly £20 buying this new, I
my
expect,
gosh.
in the day.
Yeah.
A bit of War of the Worlds.
Bum, bum, bum.
Now look at that case, man.
That's
Look at that
awesome.
case. I mean, it is a bit
Yeah, you
messed
should
up
you should
now,
have
but
dug that out when I pulled out the album. Was it last week or the week before?
and I'm just going to remove it from its resting place because it's rested in here for many years.
Millennia.
But even the cassette label is just amazingly
Pull it back.
well
there you
done.
Go. Okay, there you go. It's
Just amazingly well done. And I just think that this is what we miss today with digital downloads and things that are on SD cards. You don't have this. You don't have this. You don't have this.
Physical
this is what
media.
makes it great. Yeah. But I just want to quickly, before I hand the reins over to you for a small moment, I just want to look at a couple of other titles that are still movie orientated, okay, but are a bit sort of a bit of a rip-off.
All right.
So you also had, like you have, not so much today, but you have like I've got this idea for a game, right? But it's quite a shit game. But if we can use something that is really famous, then we might sell quite a lot.
Yeah.
So we're gonna. What's the name of the game? It's called Raiders of the Cursed Mine. Okay.
Ooh.
So let's just model it on like Raiders of the Lost Ark.
And we'll even steal the font.
And we'll even steal the font. Yeah, but a lot of that went on back then.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like the picture is like a man in an Egyptian tomb.
Yeah.
Of course, it's another kind of wandering around game, and this is great. Okay, this is how you get the game in your head. You read all that text, right? Not a lot of it, but all that text, that paragraph has to do so much work. Because what it has to do, it has to
sets
tell
the scene for the game.
Yeah, and a bit of the backstory, and then that is what leads you into the game. And it's great. I mean, it's great, but also. It's not just like Raiders of the Lost Ark. You've got a Sinclair themselves are they're a little bit guilty of it as well, because if you remember when you bought a new like as a Spectrum computer, you would buy like a starter pack, and that would normally give you a couple of games. It would give you some like programs that you could play with and stuff like that. Yeah, and they kind of jumped on the bandwagon as well. So. They had a game, what's called Game 5 Star Trail, okay? But they really kind of pushed that whole kind of Star Trek.
It does look very much like Star Trek, yeah.
Model it on the Enterprise, but don't want it to be the Enterprise, but
it can't
make
be,
people think it's the Enterprise.
It's like, we
the nacelles are different.
We don't want to get sued, so change it a bit.
Yeah,
so we don't want to go to court over this shit. But that's from Sinclair itself, right? That's not like some
title,
kid in his parents' basement.
The software is by IGL, but it's this kind of thing that you would get with buy like a multi-pack.
Right.
So yeah, I mean I've got a few other games, and I've got some what I believe are quite rare games. But I'm just wondering, have you got anything that you would like to share with the audience?
I do. I have some physical media I want to go through.
Okay.
But this is not retro stuff, unfortunately. This is brand new stuff. This is because I go through phases where 1 week I'll buy a ton of Blu-rays and DVDs, and then I'll go a couple of weeks where there's nothing really I want to get.
Be aware that your video has gone off, so I'm not going to be seeing what you're showing.
You can't see me?
No, your video's gone off. So it's a technical hitch, I suppose.
What happened?
Hey, I'm in the old stuff, man. Do you know what I mean?
You don't see me at all?
No, I don't see you. No.
Hang on.
I don't see you.
Let me see if I can
You've
fix
gone.
that for you. There you go.
But yes. So
can you see me now?
I see me. Yeah. So I should be able to see you.
So
okay.
There I am.
There we go. There we go. You're back again.
Hello, Reeves. How are you, mate?
Hello.
All right.
Why have we gone all northern all of a sudden?
Fantastic, bloody great.
Oh.
All right, so this week, or this past week, there's a store, a bookstore called Barnes and Noble here in the U.S. I don't know if you can get it in the UK.
Yes,
or not.
we do. Yes.
And it's like the last great, or maybe not even great, but the last chain of bookstores that exists in physical terms. Amazon has pretty much driven all the chains out of business.
Yes.
So now there's lots and lots of little independently owned bookstores, like, you know, what we call over here the mom and pop stores, just little stores, you know, like little boutiques that sell books, independently owned. There's lots of those, lots and lots of those. But the big chains, the chains of stores that every town, every city would have, like these stores, those are all gone except for Barnes and Noble. And
Okay.
Barnes and Noble, they sell. They have like inside. They have like a coffee. You can go and sit down, have a coffee. They have all obviously vast
Chairs.
aisles of books that you can buy. But they also have a physical media department where you can buy CDs, DVDs, Blu-rays, and vinyl records. And this month, starting last week, they have a month-long sale on Criterion Blu-ray and DVDs. Now, I don't know if you guys are aware of the Criterion Collection, but the Criterion Collection is the pinnacle of audio and video quality when it comes to Blu-ray and DVD. So when you purchase a title that's published by the Criterion Collection, you know you're getting the ultimate in picture quality and sound and extras. They always have director's commentary, behind the scenes. So the discs are usually pretty expensive because they are at the top of the quality pyramid. So this past week, Barnes and Noble have a sale where all Criterion discs 50% off. Everything is half price.
Bargain.
So when I found out about this, I immediately jumped in the car and drove over to my local Barnes and Noble to check it out. And I did make a short video, so I'm going to play the video right now so you can see what Barnes and Noble look like and all the discs, and then I'll get into some of the purchases I made. So have a look at this. Okay, guys, so I'm here at Barnes and Noble, where they're going to be doing a 50% off Criterion Blu-ray disc. So let's go check it out. Let's see what's over there. Well, and then that's it. That's all I did. I just filmed going through some of the racks and looking at some of the stuff. So I bought a few discs, and I even went back for some other ones that I saw. I was like, oh, I got to get that, and I said, oh, I'll wait. And then I went back and they were gone. Somebody already bought them, but I did get a few. So let me go through some of the new discs that I bought on Blu-ray. First one I got. Is the Criterion Collection of Blu-ray version of Night of the Living Dead.
Okay, cool.
And this is the Criterion version, and this is new 4K digital restoration supervised by George Romero, screenwriter John Russo. And if I can open the package this way, it slides open with more zombie stuff on it like that. I'll show you that's the thing. And in here we have two Blu-ray discs. One is of the movie, one is of extras. And it also comes with this this poster. If I can open it. I'll pull it back over. Comes with this poster. And then on the back of the poster you have all the information about the movie. Now I watched this last Saturday night. I watched the discs, and all I can say is, oh my fucking god, this movie has never ever ever looked better. The remastered, it looks phenomenal. The image quality, it blows your mind, and it's even though this movie's 50 plus years old. It's a great movie, and it still is a great movie.
It's kind of it's kind of like
the Blu-ray, dude. Just it pops. It
Yeah.
fucking pops. It is so great.
But it's kind of like set in like one place. You
Yeah.
know, it all happens, and it's
In
all
the
about
house.
the people.
Mm-hmm.
It's all about the people and the way that they interact with each other and start to become suspicious of one another and their arguments and stuff.
Yes.
And
but
yet it
it's
still
so
makes
great.
it interesting
Oh, it's
and
wonderful.
scary because there's zombies as well.
Yep. The next Criterion disc I got on sale was Terry Gilliam's The Fisher King,
Hmm.
starring Robin Williams and what's his name? Jeff Bridges. And there's the.
Yeah.
And I watched this over the weekend, and I hadn't seen this for years, since like the 90s. And there's the disc and the packaging, and this was fun too. This was a good movie.
Yeah.
I'd forgotten most about this movie, and then I went back on Saturday because they had War of the Worlds. Was it the 1955 or 54 version of War of the Worlds?
Oh, yeah.
On Criterion, and I was like, oh, I got to get that. And I said, no, I'll get it another time. And I went back on Saturday to get it, but somebody had already bought it. It was gone. So I ended up getting this. Now, can you tell me if you recognize what this is? I mean, it says on the bottom, but
No, I'm just trying not to look at the bottom. I'm trying not to sort of, not from the picture, no, and I can't read.
So this is the Blu-ray remaster on Criterion of Sam Peckinpah's Straw Dogs.
Is it? Really?
This is Straw Dogs.
Oh yeah, now I see what it says. Yeah, okay.
Straw Dogs, and
That film had such a reputation when it first came out.
There's the
Yes. So there's another film. That's another film that's kind of set in just one location.
Oh my god, dude! I got to tell you, I watched this movie on last Sunday night. I watched this Blu-ray. Fuck me, what a great movie! Oh my god, It is so fucking good, and very disturbing. Right? I mean, this came out. When did this come
Violent,
out? This came out in what, 1971 or 1972?
Early 70s.
And it's shocking today.
Yeah.
So can you imagine when this came out back in the early 70s? People must have lost their fucking minds.
Do you remember
But this is
the
a
video bands?
Great movie. Like ridiculously good.
The video bands of the early 80s with the video nasties
Oh,
and
Video
stuff.
Nasties, yeah.
I think that Straw Dogs was on that list
it
to be
it
not
probably
available
was.
for rental.
Yeah. Probably was, but it was but I would I highly recommend people, if you can get hold of a copy or download or stream. I don't know if it's streaming. Straw Dogs with Dustin Hoffman. Oh my God, what a great movie! You are on the edge of your fucking seat the entire movie.
It is very
It's very disturbing, very powerful, and it's just great. I was blown away by how good it was. I have a couple more. Should I continue, Reeves, or you want to jump in?
Yeah, fine. Because when I start waffling, I'll start waffling. Because you know what I mean.
You'll be off for it. All right, so I'll do a couple more. I also picked up this week. This is an older release. It came out a few months ago. This is Doctor Who: The Faceless Ones with Patrick Troughton. This is because the BBC, in their wisdom, erased vast quantities of this era of Doctor Who.
Yes.
Only certain episodes and or clips survive. So what they've done is they've decided to go back and animate the episodes.
That's pretty cool.
So it's an animation, a cartoon.
So
of
from
the
original story.
Yeah.
And they would do an animation. Oh, that's pretty cool.
They'd make a cartoon of the story. So what would happen was in the 60s, Obviously, there was no VCRs, no video. So, but fans of the show, they'd have either cassettes or reel-to-reel tapes, and they'd record the audio of each episode of Doctor Who, and then the BBC erased the tapes, and then the public, they still had these tapes, the audio portions of the show. So the BBC got the audio, so they had the audio, and then they just animated the visuals to match the audio from the tapes, and that's what this is. This is a animated version of Doctor Who: The Faceless One. So I picked up this, and last but not least is what I bought. This I do have a few more that I want to show you, but I didn't buy them recently. I've had these forever. But this is something else I bought this week, which I've been watching all week. Every night I've been throwing on a disc and checking it out, and laughing hysterically. So this is the new Blu-ray HD remaster of
a bit of lardy-dardy. A bit of lardy-dardy.
Laurel and Hardy, the definitive restorations. So this is in HD, in 1080p. They've gone in and they've took the original film and
I bet that looks good.
They've scanned in the film in 4K.
Yep. And
then gone in and cleaned up all the image, cleaned up the audio, and released them on Blu-ray. And as you can see, there's four discs with some of their movies and some of their short. Now this is not the complete Laurel and Hardy collection. That would be significantly more discs. But these are hopefully this is the first of many sets of the remastered. But yeah, they look great, and to watch that, because I haven't seen these since I was a kid, for years.
Yeah, well, I think
watching them again, it's great. It's not only nostalgic for Saturday mornings on BBC One, but
you had a bit of
they're still funny. They're still hilarious.
Kids TV. Yeah. Kids TV back then. I don't know. I mean, I don't know what kids TV like now. I mean, it's everywhere, but. I mean, kids TV back then, you had a bit of the swap shop or Tiz was.
Yeah.
What else did you have?
You're breaking up a little bit, Reeves.
Am I? I should be back now.
There we go.
Yeah. You had your Tiz was and you had your swap shop, but you also had these films like you would have like Laurel and Hardy. Mm-hmm. You would have Flash Gordon.
Yeah.
You would have Zorro. Flashing Blade.
The Flashing Blade.
You'd have Flashing Blade, yeah. You'd have all those kind of what was the other? Pippi Longstockings. Loads of them, and Heidi, and all these programs which would be on kids TV,
right?
And you'd have so much choice, and it would all happen in the space of 4 hours, and then that was it. Then Dickie Davis would come on with World of Sport, and then it would be fucking wrestling, acting, and stuff that. But
what I would do, and I'm sure you'd be the same thing on a Saturday morning. You'd either be watching Tiz Was or Swap Shop or cartoons or whatever, and the minute Grandstand or the World of Sports came on, you're out. That was it. You're out. You're out of the house.
Hey, off on your. You're listen, you're out. You know
you're gone.
That soon you have your dinner, right, and then you have your dinner, and then you're off on your grifter, and you meet your mate down the park on his chopper. Yeah. And then you go off on an explore. You go to the haunted house that's just by the woods. And that's where you go.
Speaking of haunted houses, I do have two more things to show, and then I'll hand the reins over to you to go through the rest of your retro collection.
All right.
Now, the other day, I forget who it was. Someone in the chat talked about this movie. Now, as far as I know, this movie is not released in the U.S., so this is a UK import that I had to get. And it's a great movie, and it's a masterpiece of folk horror, and it is, of course, Blood on Satan's Claw.
Blood on Satan, yeah, okay, yeah.
And this is the digitally remastered special edition, and as you can see from the 18 certificate right here, this was I had to have this imported from the UK.
Yeah.
But the beauty of this is that I don't know if you can see this, see where it says. If I can get this focused, or maybe not. Come on, focus. Well, maybe not. Maybe it won't focus. But you see that little symbol right there? It says This thing, it says A, B, and C, which means
Yep.
this is compatible with regions A, B, and C. So
Okay.
this is like a almost a region free disc. So even
Yeah.
though this is a UK disc, it plays perfectly on US players. This is a great movie. If you like folk horror, you will love this. This movie is phenomenal. I really love this movie. It's a lot of fun to watch. And this came out in the early second. Looking at the date on it, I can't see a date, but this came out in the early 70s. I want to say 1971 or 72 also, but great stuff. Last one ties into folk horror. Now this is another collector's edition, which is also extremely rare. Bit dusty. And I'm really glad I have this. This is from the 90s, and this is the collector's edition of The Wicker Man. But it's actually in a wooden case.
I was going to say it looks wooden.
It is. It's a wooden case, and it says the Wicker Man is actually burned in to the wood. So it's like they must have had like one of these metal stamps that was all hot.
Yeah.
And they burn it in.
Or they used a laser.
Or a laser or something. They burn it into the wood, the Wicker Man, and on the back it's got a little piece of paper stuck on there telling you about the discs. And you got like a little little clasp right here. You pop open like that, and you open it up, and inside you have the discs. A little thing about the Wicker Man, and the discs actually it comes in like a CD case. Let me pull it out.
Yeah.
I'll show you. And so we got the CD case here. So so this one is the theatrical version. This is the standard version of the Wicker Man. And then on disc 2, you have the unrated director's cut with a lot of extra scenes on the discs. And there you go. There's the Wicker Man. Now, unfortunately, this is not Blu-ray. This is DVD, because this came out, in the 90s when there was no Blu-ray to speak of. But this is a cool little set that I've had for years of the Wicker Man Special Edition, and it is a great movie. If you guys have not seen The Wicker Man or Blood on Satan's Claw, highly recommended. Check it out. All right, let's hand the reins over to Reeves, and we can dive into some more retro video game goodness. Reeves, you have the floor.
Well, I just want to quickly go through a few games that I picked out that before I go into the meat and potatoes of what I want to talk about. So even the royal family had a video game which was called this is a weird one. This is called Mad Flunky. But you're kind of royal family, kind of walking around and weirdness. It's kind of a bit strange that
Mad Flunky.
Yeah, it's a very weird game. It's like a platform game. It's very big. It's a Spectrum. I think it's Spectrum. So it's kind of like very big screen and stuff. But it's pretty good. It's pretty good quality. But yeah, cartoons. Cartoons also got video games, which you believe it or not. And I've got two games here, which both came out on the Spectrum. They're most probably on other formats as well. We have Yogi's Great Escape, which is a pretty cool one.
Yogi Bear. Hey,
Yogi
boo-boo.
Bear, yeah.
Okay,
which we all
Yogi.
remember from our childhood, at our age. And once again, it's that
Absolutely.
kind of
This time
platform,
you can count on me.
run around on a platform and that sort of stuff. But we also had now we're all fans of Scooby-Doo, but kind of Scrappy-Doo is kind of,
Reeves, you better
Yeah.
show the video game.
but Scrappy-Doo kind of like it was a kind of like an add-on to make
Uncle
him a bit
Scooby,
more.
it's me,
Yeah.
Scrappy
Stop
Doo.
watching then. I stopped watching that then. I didn't want to hear that.
Yeah, I
That
know.
really annoyed me.
That really
But
annoyed
even Scooby-Doo had a video game. And he had a video game. I'm just trying to get the light. There we go. He had a video game, and it was once again it was kind of like this
Platform.
multi-level
Oh, yeah.
platform. And the reason for that, I mean, this was W.H. Smith's $4.99. Wow. the reason for that is because, as I was saying, video games are kind of made in a way that you'd have three things happening. You'd either, if it was like a movie tie-in, you'd have a platform level, you'd have a shooting level, and you'd have like a chase level, and that would kind of make the game up. And same with all the other sort of stuff. You'd have this kind of, option of what you wanted to do, because your memory and that in the game is very kind of limited, unless it's like a multi-loader where you'd load in the levels as you go. But a lot of games, they would just basically have that kind of formula. Now, you're saying to me, I can hear what you're saying. You're in the video shop and your kid's in there running around like a headless chicken, like a bloody mental, looking at all these games, going, Dad, can I have this? Dad, can I have that? And he's saying to you, and you're thinking in your head, where's my video games?
Yeah.
Where's my video game? I bought that thing. I bought that thing. Right. So, and you go over to the shopkeeper and you say, excuse me, shopkeeper, I would like a grown-up video game.
Wait. Do you mean an adult video game, Reeves?
Well, I think the word adult could be very loosely strung to it, considering it's 8-bit graphics.
All right.
So he goes to you, I've got just something up your street, sir. It's certainly
Adults only.
Adults only. So what is it, sir? What is it? Tell me. Well, this is a good one. This is called fantasy. Fantasy. And
oh my god, dude! Is there screenshots? Can you show me what it looks like?
No,
there's no pictures.
No, not really. This is very homebrew. Yeah, look, I'll show you what here we go. Look, so we've got this. Now you could oh, sorry, wrong way. You could basically go and Google this game, and you'd find some screenshots, and they are a bit, well, yeah. So basically, you basically play as this geezer, and you have to sort of woo ladies.
There you go.
But yeah, it's very sort of rudimentary and very basic. But back then, a lot of it was using the imagination of the brain. But here's another one. Here's another one. This one's very weird. This is another. This is another.
Adults only. All right.
Adults only. Now this one, I've never loaded this game. I've only read about it, but it's a massive.
Be honest. Come on. You've loaded that shit. Come on, please.
Well, look at all that. Look at all that in there. Look at all that stuff you've got to read there. It's like a bloody book. It's like a bloody book. It's a bloody story.
Oh, fuck that.
Right. So this game, right, is here's the sleeve. It's called Cover Up.
Cover Up.
It's called Cover Up. All right. A bit weird, but obviously, from the same distributor, R&H Microtech. Very, very hard to get hold of, for obvious reasons. Now, the last one doesn't have an inlay, so it's just basically mate. It's called Peep Show. All right, play the game, load it, put your thing in, have a play, and then you might see a naked lady that looks like a robot. Yeah. So these three games are all kind of like a set. There's like a set of games. But anyway, so we're talking about video games in the sense of a computer that you'd need to play, these games and load and have some sort of rudimentary understanding of programming or whatever, or some, but the 80s also gave us the ability not really have to think about things. And of course, when we have retro throwbacks now, we have
you're starting to break up a little bit, Reeves.
Okay, so I'll come back in a sec.
You're frozen.
Probably my computer doing something.
A little bit there.
So I'll be back in it.
Yeah.
There we go.
You're all like.
Okay. So I was saying, let me just.
We apologize for the technical difficulty. We will be back in a moment. Here's some music. Are you back? Are you back?
Just bear with me 1 second.
No?
Just bear with me 1 second. I think I'm thinking. Yeah, I am working there. So bear with me 1 second, because I just want to grab something. But this is down by my side.
All right, go on then.
So I'm back.
That was fast.
And so we had a upsurgence of retro in the last sort of few years, and you could go out and buy yourself these little mini all-in-one consoles, which
Uh-huh.
are like
Oh yeah,
this,
yeah, yeah,
where you
yeah.
had like a
Yeah,
mini
I've seen
Atari, and you
those.
could
Yeah.
sort of, it's just
Uh-huh.
a system on a chip, and you can play your games
Comes
to
with
your
like
heart's
20 or
content.
30 games or something built
Yeah,
in.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, 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 and it's just a bit of fun. It's just a
Yeah,
bit of
yeah.
retro, and you don't have to lug around cartridges or anything. But if you want to be really cool and you want to impress your girlfriend, who has obviously got some sort of video game fetish, then you would say to her, "Do you know what, love? Why don't you come back to my flat and we can have a go on an Atari 2600,
A real one. A
the
real
real one,
one.
the real thing,
The real
the
deal with
real
the wood
thing with the
paneling
teak
and
front."
everything. Yeah.
Yeah, and it still works,
Have you hooked it
believe it
up?
or not.
You got it going?
Yeah, kind of, because the power pack is broken now.
Oh yeah, you need to get I'm sure you could get one on eBay or something. A
Yeah,
power pack for it.
but the great thing is that, well, the reason I'm showing that is because hardware has changed so much, and
Yeah.
back then, if you bought a console,
Uh huh.
you really bought a piece of furniture. It was
Yeah.
something
Yeah.
that was in your front room, that was there, and it was there to serve a purpose. Not only to play video games on it, but also to look like it was part of the front room, and it was to look futuristic as well.
Well,
Um,
let me grab my. I didn't know you were going to show hardware, so let me grab
oh, okay.
my BBC from a box back there, and I'll show that. So I'll hand the reins over to you, so you can talk about your next thing while I go grab
Okay.
it. I'll be right back.
Well, what else I was going to talk about was basically with you would have the video games and stuff, but obviously you would also have the games, and obviously the games are what make the system what it is. So at the end of the day, it's kind of like having more choice. The arcades coming into sort of your front room, where it became, you didn't have to go to the arcades to play Asteroids or Scramble, or whatever game was your favorite. Mine being sort of Gallagher, I think, really, or Defender. But and then you could have all that in your front room, and the consoles kind of gave you that in a more kind of family orientated way, rather than computers being a bit more geeky and a bit more techie, where you would buy a game, you'd have to load it, and it was more a kind of a thing that happened in the bedroom with your mates, and you would all sit around the computer and play games and stuff. But with the console, you could have it in the front room. The whole family could be involved. You could all get together and make an evening of it. And that's why I think consoles have a little bit of a one up with over home computers back then. Not so much now, because it's consoles are kind of firmly established as a front room thing. But it's great to still be able to sort of have the older games, play them. And I mean, I still play older games. It's not
They're
like
still
I've
fun
sort of
though.
just,
I said earlier,
they're
like,
fun to play, and they're damn hard as well.
well, I
They
was
make
saying
them
that
really difficult.
even though compared to today's modern standards, they're primitive. They're still
Yeah,
tons of fun to play.
they are.
So let me show you.
They are. Okay.
So first off, when you would buy the BBC Master, you get a couple of books with it. Let me give
Yep.
you a full screen. So you get this, the welcome guide.
Yeah.
This is all by Acorn Computers. And you get like the reference manual, which is a bit dog-eared. And this tells you all the ins and outs of the thing, even like the circuit boards and everything, so you can repair it, some little programs and stuff. There's the book. But the ultimate, fuck, I've forgotten how heavy this thing was. It's pretty heavy.
They are. Yeah,
Is
it's
this
they
thing
built
right here.
them. Yeah, there we go.
Look at this. This is the BBC Master. I'll show you the back there. Now, what was cool
And
about
that's been modded, yeah.
this one has been modded, yeah,
Okay.
because you can see you can see the ribbon cable connected into the user port. That goes inside to an MD card, like not an SD card with practically every game available for the BBC.
You know, when you had it on your shoulder like that, it almost looked like you were going to play it. All you
Yeah.
needed was a bow.
Now this still got the keyboard.
Very clicky.
Oh, keyboard! The
Hear
keyboard
those
on this thing.
springs?
Keyboard is wonderful on this thing. Wonderful. You know,
Well,
it just
you've
feels
got-
so good to type on it.
the thing is with the micros, the BBCs, they were kind of like educational systems. They were in schools. The BBC Bs were in schools.
Look at
but
this. I even
that's
got,
what my.
I even got a fucking UK plug on it. Look at that.
There you go. There you go. Yeah.
Crazy. Huh?
But the having
there you
my
go,
first
BBC micro.
experience of a video game on a computer was, I think, it must have been a computer club at school on
Yeah.
a BBC. on a
Yeah,
micro.
for sure.
And,
That's because they had in the 80s Acorn and the BBC Micro. They had the educational market fucking sewn up.
yeah.
I know Apple made kind of a little bit of inroads, but it was pretty much all Acorn machines until the mid 90s when everything was replaced by PCs.
Talking of media, do you remember? I picked something up just as I grabbed it because I was having a bit, grabbing some stuff. And do you remember these? And this is, do you remember these?
What?
And I've case. Now I'll show you the case.
Star Wars Limited Collector, the original.
Do you remember what goes in one of these?
No, I'm not sure.
And there'll be a little bit of blurb on the back about stuff.
Authentic.
So I bought this.
What was it?
Right. So I bought this years ago.
Oh, the film thing. Yeah.
I bought this years ago, and when I was reading it, I thought I really want to mention this because it says Star Wars on authentic 70 millimeter film original, and it's R2D2 edition because it was a shot of R2D2, C3PO, and Luke Skywalker.
Right.
And it's it makes it out that it's the original frame from the
From the
original
film, yeah.
original movie, but as we all know, it is not an original frame from the original movie. It's an original frame from a copy of the original movie that went to a cinema.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's the kind of way they marketed it. It's like, you need this because it's the original. But the thing is, when I look at this, I think to myself, all of those kids, right, back in the 70s that went to the cinema to watch the Star Wars, because it was Star Wars back then. That's all it was Star Wars, not A New Hope.
Yeah.
All those kids that went to the cinema to watch, you're getting a little insight here into how my brain works. So all of those kids that went to see that, see Star Wars and was wowed by it, because everyone was, I think, some of those kids saw that actual frame of film. They saw that actual frame of film.
Oh yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, when you're a
That's
kid.
amazing. It might have been me.
They're not real. When you say it's not actually, well, it is. It is an actual.
It is.
A real. It's real.
It is.
It's not
It's
really,
real.
They're not really ripping you off. It is like legit.
No,
a piece
but
of footage.
It is a copy of a master.
Yeah, but the master. I mean, the master.
not gonna get the master 'cause George Lucas has
gone, you know.
Killed it. He destroyed it.
Killed it. I know. Yeah.
But talking of masters, there's something else I want to show you. This leads me into. I'm going to be very quick.
Okay, go on.
Right. So, you mentioned analog and reel to reel and all that earlier, and I was going through it as well, and I found something which give everyone a quick look at my history. This here, okay, on this tape is a copy. No, it's the master tape, not the actual multi-track master, but this is the multi-master of one of our EPs from the band from way back in the I think the 90s.
That's
now,
awesome.
The thing is, right, that from that we had produced an EP cassette.
Yeah.
Right? A 4-track EP cassette. But a lot of people don't realise that what goes into actually making that cassette. Well, obviously, you get a blank cassette, you duplicate the master onto another master, and then you kind of record it high speed, and then you put the tape in there by winding it in.
Yeah.
And there's a sequence of events that go to do that. But also with the artwork, when it starts out, you design artwork, okay, and then you make a negative. right? So you make a negative for the artwork, and then you expose that negative with very, very ultraviolet light onto plastic,
Wow.
which basically hardens everything, and it softens the rest of the plastic, and you put it into a washer, and these brushes go around and wash it, okay, which washes away all the softened plastic, and then you are basically left with this kind of raised up, yeah, so that when you put it on the print machine,
That's
which
the
goes on a
print-
barrel
oh,
like that,
got
yeah,
it.
and when the ink comes on it, it comes onto the cassette like so, yeah,
And that's how you
and then
print it.
and then it prints like so.
That's amazing.
So a little bit of history there, and I found it, and it'll mostly go back in the box now and be put away
No,
for another million years.
that's
But yeah.
very cool, Reeves. That's super cool to see
That's
how
how
they
you
did
used
that.
to do it in the old
Yeah,
days when
that's
you
awesome.
made cassettes. So there you go.
That's really cool, man. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Do you have anything else before we wrap this up?
Oh yeah, I do have another thing as well.
All right, what you got?
Here, check this out. Do you remember Sunday papers?
Yeah.
Right. Do you remember you used to get all that crap inside of Sunday paper,
the
which
color
was like
supplements and all that
supplements?
stuff. Yeah.
And the papers were like like this thick. They were like
Yeah.
War and Peace.
Right.
So sometimes you would get something really, really cool in it, and you'd think, oh, I want to buy that one because
Yeah.
it's got that in it.
Yeah.
Well, I did buy one of those papers because it had something in it, and I bought it on it was the Mail on Sunday, all right, and the date was May the 8th, 2005. Can you imagine what it was? Come on, no. Okay, so it was this special.
Oh.
Star
Episode 3.
Wars episode 3,
Revenge of the Sith.
and it was a special on there.
Collector's
and
edition.
Here's the thing: it's collector's edition. But when you, do you know? I just found this even more amazing. Was when you open it, you have a date with Destiny and all that stuff. But I just thought this advert was great. This advert on the other page was great for tiny computers.
Computers and
So when you look at these
hi-fi.
computers, yeah. So when you look at these computers, right? So okay, I want a laptop.
Yeah.
I can have. Right, it's a nice one here. 15.5 inch widescreen. It's got 1024 megabyte of gig of RAM. It's got an 80 gig hard drive, and it's got Wi-Fi. But it's only going to cost you £599. But if you want one with 80 gig hard drive, that'll cost you £1,200. It's mad, isn't it? It's just that the prices are bonkers.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. When you look,
I love all these old magazines.
Yeah, when you look back and you see the prices of stuff and things that were that was state of the art back then, and now it's obsolete.
What was the one thing
Just
that
gone.
what was a must-have? What was the one thing that was a must-have in a very early 90s PC? If you had one, not about a Voodoo card. I'm on about something a little bit before that. What was the one thing you needed?
A CD.
Yes,
CD. If
you
you had a CD-ROM, oh my
you
God,
needed
look
one
at
of
this.
these. You needed one of those, mate. If you
Yeah.
had one of those, you were king.
Yeah.
And
you
this
gotta have a
is
CD.
and this was even better because this was a CD writer as well, not a reader and a writer.
So you could burn your own discs.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Yeah, that's circa 1995 or 96, something like that, I think. when
So
that
there you
really
go.
started kicking off.
That was a blast of
Blast
a small
from
portion.
the past.
A small portion.
A
of,
small portion.
of
More to
the,
come.
of the wonders.
I don't know if you're available next week or not, Reeves. Hopefully so, but
Possibly.
let me know, and we'll do this again because there's lots more physical media to talk about.
So much more.
And no doubt I will be paying a visit to Barnes & Noble again to see what other half-price Blu-rays I can get my grubby little hands on. So we'll see how that goes. All right then, man. I'm gonna let you go and start wrapping this up
Okay.
because I gotta get ready for work
was
and
fun.
stuff. But Reeves, thank you so much for coming on.
Yes.
Always a blast, and I will talk to you on Sunday.
All right. Bye-bye, everyone.
All right, man. Take it easy.
Bye-bye.
There you go. And Reeves shoots off into the ether. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I should remind everyone, if you have not subscribed to the Mindset Central channel, please do so. Subscribe to the channel.
Do it now. Immediately.
And give us a thumbs up. I see we're only up to 18 thumbs up today. What's going on? Can we at least make it to 20? or higher. Minimum 20. That's, just take half a second out of your incredibly busy day and just go like this. Click. Real easy. And let's get it up to a minimum 20, but if you want to go more than 20, I won't stop you. I won't stop you, baby. But please consider subscribing to the channel. Join us. So subscribe. Give me some likes. I hope you've enjoyed today's show. I certainly have. We've shown a bunch of physical media and some extreme retro video games. Reeves got quite a collection there. Always good. Hopefully we'll get Reeves back on next Friday for a physical media Friday. And we'll go through even more stuff. What's coming up? Okay, so tonight, 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, will be the return of Mindset Live Friday Night Howl. So come on by if you are awake at that time. That's 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I don't know what time that would be throughout the world, but Google will help you if you want to figure it out. But we'll do a live show tonight. It'll go for a few hours. Alcoholic beverages is not compulsory but strongly advised. And a good time will be had by all. So swing by tonight on the Mindset Howl. Tomorrow on Saturday, I'm going to the Phantom Coach Brewery, which is like a haunted, ghost-like theme restaurant bar. I'll be taking some pictures and some video, hopefully, of that, and be reporting back on Monday, and I'll let you know how that is and how it turns out. So that should be fun. But that's pretty much it. If you're just starting your day, if it is Friday morning for you, have a great Friday. The weekend's almost here, folks. Hang in there. Just a few more hours, and it'll be free time. You get 2 days to yourself. So hang in there. If it's late afternoon or early evening, depending on where you are in the world, have a great evening and enjoy your weekend. Have an awesome weekend. I'll be live tonight on the Friday Night Howl. But if you can't make that, I will see you back at 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time on Monday morning for another edition of Mindset Mornings. I hope you've enjoyed the show. Please don't forget to subscribe and like and share. Share this video. Tell people about it. Let's get some more eyes watching the show. And I'll be back very soon. Have a great day. Have a great weekend. I'll talk to you all very soon. Appreciate you.